What is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to another broadcast here on Break the Chains Media. Today is Monday, March 9th, 2026. Mile High Monday, coming at you live. Having a great day. It is like summer outside today. It is sunny. It is bright. It is like warm to the point where like I can't even wear my hoodie and beanie anymore. Like we are past summer. Daylight savings. We saved it. We did it. We were about it. You know, we saved the daylight. Here we are coming into spring. But I know we all have our own thoughts on daylight savings time. I think it's a whole joke. I think we should just keep it all like this. More daylight, more fun, more opportunity to get things done during the day. But that is neither here nor there. We've got a great show lined up for you today. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of breaking stuff, a lot of news and information on the wire today because we're talking about the appeal that Tina Peters resubmitted regarding her habeas corpus petition, regarding her case, regarding her testimony, and the appeals case. We also got some information regarding the gold standard Jenna Griswold and her lack of following the HAVA rules, HAVA, not just HAVA, but HAVA, the Federal Help Americans Vote Act, and various other things. And then, as of earlier this morning, Maricopa County received a surprised visit by the FEDS, and I don't know the extent, whether it be the DOJ, FEDS, but yes, they have secured several thousand, I think over 2 million pieces of documents and information regarding the 2020 election. So a lot of things are happening on the election integrity front. A lot of moving pieces on the chessboard. Coming at you this week here in first week, or I guess it's the second week of March. But here we are. We're about it. We're doing it. We're making it happen. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Tina Peters. We're going to talk about oil prices, just the up and down nature of the market. And it was, I think people were freaking out because it was over like $120 a barrel. Then it dropped down to 84. Now it's kind of sitting over at 90 somewhere. Things are going to come and go, especially in light of the ongoing war that's happening in Iran and the military presence there, the Strait of Hormuz, you name it, some more international and global policies, global politics happening at place. But we're going to go over all these things here on Break the Chains Media. If this is the first time joining Break the Chains Media, become a chain breaker. Be a part of the chain breaker family here on Break the Chains Media. We do live streams 3 times a week here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, for sure. Short videos, video content regarding Colorado politics, legislative sessions, you name it, it's happening. We got some crazy bills coming out the pipe this week in as far as Colorado legislature goes. Today, I'm actually technically
here.
Oh yeah,
some critics have suggested
right
that.
So I've got to move this live stream quick because I am scheduled to testify for this this House committee that's happening in real time on my other monitor over here. So we're gonna rock this out. We're gonna make it quick because I am testifying on the Protect Female Sports Act, HB 26-1083 by Bottoms, Scott Bottoms, prime sponsor on that. But that's what you got to do, folks. You got to be a part of your legislative session. You got to be involved in the process, involved in what's going on in the legislature in your state capital. So without further ado, we are going to be moving right through this. If this is the first time joining Break the Chains Media, smash that thumbs up, be a part of the Chain Breakers, and then you can follow me. Check me out, breakthechains.media. That is the website. That is the landing page. And in the top right corner here, you got Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Click on that link. Grab yourself a bottle of Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology through hot sauce. From mild to extreme heat, you can pick up your bottles of Realm Walker Hot Sauce, all flavored and themed by Norse mythology: Niflheim, Midgard, Vanaheim, Jotunheim, Muspelheim, Asgard, and Ragnarok. Plenty of different flavors for you to pick from. Follow Realm Walker Hot Sauce on Instagram. Pick up your bottle, support the channel, support the cause. Be a part of it, folks. Without further ado, we're going right into it. We're going to power through this because I do not want to miss my opportunity to tell my lawmakers, to tell my legislators how I feel about their bills. We are in support of the bill that I'm signing up for. So the Scott Bottoms bill is Protecting Female Sports Act. So I am in support of that one. But you got to be a part of it. You got to sign up to testify and make sure your voice is heard, folks. That is the most important thing we can do. But Without further ado, explosive data from Colorado. The HAVA complaint, H-A-V-A complaint filed against Jenna Griswold. Official election records show post-certification ballot changes from the 2020 election, over 300,000 changes. 2022, 155,000 changes. In 2024, 3,500 changes. So almost 500,000 voter history changes after elections were certified. Ballots added, ballots deleted, votes flipped, you name it. Peter Berniger had he filed a HAVA complaint on Jenna Griswold. This is his complaint here, filed against the Secretary of State here in Colorado. So he is doing some good work. He's making some moves legally, and that is what we need to be following up on. That is what we need to be part of. God help me, that woman is atrocious. Good Lord. Gandalf, what do you got to say to Griswold? Jesus. She is a failure, man. Oh my God. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. Holy cow. So we got that. Got Gold Standard Griswold. This is a fantastic picture, fantastic meme I cooked up. But yeah, it's Gold Standard Griswold. Defying DOJ lawsuits over voter data, limiting scope of SOS audits, lying about Supreme Court arguments, leaking BIOS passwords, falsely framing Tina Peters, retaining dirty voter rolls, statewide universal mail-in ballots. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Jenna Griswold is the gold standard of fraud and manipulation here in Colorado. Yes, and then this Wednesday, word on the street. This Wednesday, sign up to testify and oppose this bill. Prostitution bill is set for March 11th at 1:30 in the Senate Judiciary. SB 26097, decriminalizing adult commercial sexual activity. As it stands right now, it is still set to be heard in the committee, although there are reports, varying articles from the Colorado Sun and other word on the street is word on the wire, word under the Golden Dome is that this will actually be postponed indefinitely by the prime sponsors. This is all unconfirmed. This is all, just word on the street. Nothing yet, but it is still scheduled to be in committee to be heard. So it is interesting to see the pushback, to see prior to it even being heard in committee, for it to be postponed indefinitely because just the sheer nature of the bill, the contentious nature of the bill. So let's hope that is the opportunity. Let's hope that is the outcome. But as it stands right now, it is still scheduled to be heard in the Senate Judish on Wednesday. So keep in mind, sign up for that if you want to be a part of that. This is an absolutely ridiculous, absolutely insane post by Grok. I cannot really share that or read that, but it is on my X page. If you want to follow me on X, you can read the full uncensored Grok response to Jared Polis and his comments regarding that. But yeah, that is absolutely insane, absolutely wild. Great video I posted there. Some other information about seats in Colorado and the flippable seats by Free State Colorado. Gotta represent. Excellent thread. So definitely check out Free State Colorado and what margins of victory percentage points we have in Colorado to win some federal level seats, some state level seats, some state cabinet, House members, various different positions available for the midterms. So follow Free State Colorado to get that. But here we go right here, folks. We've got, well, let's see here. Yeah, we're good. We are still good. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. As it stands right now, folks, President Trump is not mincing words. President Trump is not slowing down. He's not taking no for an answer. Trump is making sure that our path forward for election integrity and for election accountability is happening. Killen 44171. Thank you for being here. You get that treasure chest. Thanks for rocking and rolling. Appreciate you being here, my man. Thank you. Thank you for doing. No. Thank you for being a viewer, for being a subscriber, a follower. Be a part of the change here in Colorado. That is what we need to see. Break the chains, media. Be the change you want to see in the world. Show up and be a part of it, because that's what we need to do. Thank you for being here. But President Trump is not mincing words. He refuses to sign any other bills unless the SAVE Act is passed through the U.S. Senate. References a real quote-unquote gold standard, not the corrupt and broken one that Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold always puppets. Should we do the Trump accent, the Trump voice? Great job by hardworking Scott Pressler on Fox and Friends talking about the filibuster or talking filibuster in order to pass the Save America Act. An 88% issue with all voters. It's all voters. All of them want it. All of them want to be a part of it. It must be done immediately. It supersedes everything else. It must go to the front line. I, as president, will not sign any other bills unless this is passed. Not the watered down version. No, we can't do that. We gotta go for the gold. Must show voter ID, proof of citizenship, no mail-in ballots, except for military, illness, disability, travel. No men and women's sports. Absolutely. By the way, I just want to let everyone know, no men and women's sports. No transgender mutilization for children. Do not fail President Donald J. Trump. Oh, man, it's so funny. He's got two different thoughts right there at the same time. He's talking about the Save America Act, dropping it down, go for the gold standard. And by the way, we don't want men and women's sports. We can't have that. No transgender mutilizations. No, hilarious though. But it's true. He's speaking facts, spitting truth. Donald Trump says nothing else matters unless we get the SAVE Act passed. And that is absolutely right. So Senator Thune, you got to stand up. You got to rally those troops together, get those votes passed, put that bill on the president's desk, and let's get this enacted into law as soon as possible. Absolutely. No. So yeah, we got some other stuff here. Gun acolytes unite. I don't know if you're aware, but Senator Tom Sullivan out of the state Senate office here. So, apparently I'm a gun acolyte because I testify against various bills using anti-gun rhetoric, trying to coerce him and piss him off. So call me a gun acolyte. I will proudly represent. I will proudly wear that badge of honor. Gun acolytes unite. What's your favorite song for Range Day? Yeah, man. What instrument do you play? I play the gun. Absolutely. Right here, right now, we're going right into it. Yep. Here it is, folks. First, it was Fulton County, Georgia. Now, it's Maricopa County, Arizona. Next, it's Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold's office. Election fraud and corruption must be a top priority to save America. Which reminds me, pass the Save America Act. Right? That's the whole point. So really quick, we're just going to play this quick clip right here.
There is no evidence whatsoever of widespread non-citizen voting.
We'll try that again.
There is no evidence whatsoever of widespread non-citizen voting. There is plenty of evidence of the Trump administration trying to stomp on the voices of the American people. Look, there is...
Listen. Jenna Griswold always loves to deflect. She always loves to point blame, point fingers at Trump and the Trump administration, everything else. But I got one thing for Jenna Griswold. It's coming from Gandalf. Gandalf, what do you got to say to Jenna Griswold?
You shall not pass!
He's absolutely right. Jenna Griswold will not pass, will not collect $200, will not pass go. Straight to jail, straight away, because she is a fraudster. She is the wicked witch of the election rigging West, and I'm sick and tired of hearing her pulpit her lies and deception and flip the narrative and project all of her own crimes onto other people. Enough of Jenna Griswold and enough of this corruption. We got to stand up against it. Absolutely. Yeah. So with that being said, folks, moving right along. Let's make sure that I'm not missing my testimony. We're still good. We could actually tune into it if we want to, actually, because this is this is DeGraff's bill. It's not the bill I'm signed up to. I should have testified in this one too, but I just didn't have the Oh, it is. See, yeah. Actually, let's tune in right now. We're going to tune in right now. We're going to tune in right now because we got some great people speaking.
Prescribing hormones for kids in this way, especially in impulsive teenagers. And now that this has become something that is done more regularly, I would argue that we don't have...
This is not the same bill that I was testifying on. This is, excuse me. This is 1128, which is, let me find it here.
Concerning to me about
limitation on gender transitional procedures and the clarity of the law. So this was presented by DeGraff, but these testimonies are definitely powerful. Hopefully we can catch Travis right here. But let's take a listen here. Let's tune in.
Certain kids who are taking cross-sex hormones or puberty blockers or going under reassignment surgery. So I'm thankful that every day there are more stories about how these kids come to the realization that this may not be the right course of action in their life, but it's often not before irreversible damage is done. And what I have found is that most medical providers and therapists are not
Missy's
doing
on this too.
a thorough
Let's
job
see who we missed and let's see who already spoke.
Alerting
Travis.
kids to possible harm.
Hopefully we can get Travis.
I just want the ability for people.
What is up, Sick of Shitty Gov? Let's go.
For that care. So I urge you
Thank you so much for your time. It is now expired. Next up, Prisha Mosley.
Prisha Mosley.
Hi, my name is Prisha Mosley. I'm a detransitioner and a mother, and I was transitioned starting as a minor. When I was 17, my doctors began injecting me with large doses of testosterone in order to change my appearance to emulate the opposite sex. This is not mental health care or ethical treatment of suicidality. A year later, my healthy breasts were amputated in a surgery that I didn't know would cause me life-threatening complications almost a decade later when I gave birth. What my doctors did to me was medical fraud and malpractice, and I deserve justice. A similar bill to this has already passed in North Carolina, where I am suing my doctors. I did not understand the extent of what was done to me or the damage that my doctors had caused until years after the treatments began. It took me years to untangle the lies and the fraud.
I know we're kind of playing an audible here, folks, but this is important because this is happening in real time. This is right now happening in real time under the Golden Dome.
Or an experiment that I never consented to. The betrayal of what was done to me was hard to accept and took time to come to terms with. It also took me time to find lawyers willing to help me seek justice. I'm still finding out new medical information through testing and the passage of time as new medical issues pop up in relation to my transition. This happened to me over 10 years ago, and I am still suffering from irreversible and harmful side effects from testosterone and surgery. Thank you for listening to me, and please vote yes on this bill.
Thank you so much. And finally, Miss Erin Meshke.
I guess we missed Travis. It's okay. Always great testimony, but I'm gonna just I was hoping we were gonna be able to grab Travis, but it's fine. It's all good. That's still happening right now, so that's happening in real time at the Capitol right now. I'm gonna mute it so I don't. We're gonna keep going on the projected path of today's live stream. But thanks everyone for enjoying that little detour. But this is happening in real time. I got two things going on, but want to make sure you guys get the information you need to. So really quick, we're going to be crushing it out. Ash in America, great article. It is if you follow her, Ash in America, on Twitter, you can follow her and then go check out her Substack, which is right here. And what she wrote is actually fantastic because it summarizes a lot of what I was going to read through here. This here is Tina Peters' petition for her appeal of habeas dismissal challenging abstention. There we go. I can speak. Promise. First Amendment rulings. Prison is for folks where we send people who are a danger to all of us, whether it's by the pen or by the sword and the word of mouth. So this is a great Substack article from Ash in America, but I'm just going to read the bottom here. Colorado's criminal justice reform efforts are nationally notorious for letting sex offenders and other violent criminals into Colorado communities, yet the despots sitting in seats of power are on board with Peters remaining locked up for almost a decade because her speech is dangerous to their appearance of legitimacy. Absolutely right. That is why that is like a condensed summary of the weaponization of the judicial system here in Colorado. So I highly recommend Ashton America's article. Go check that out. It's on her Substack. But right here, these are factual statements of the case. This is the United States Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit regarding Tina Peters. This is her petition, and we're going to just read out off of page 12 right here. From the factual background, statements of the case, Miss Peters is, quote, dangerous, and her, quote, dangerous speech. Let me actually record this really quick. So this here is a segment from Tina Peters' most recent appeals due to her habeas abstention. I don't know. Abstention? Attestention? Couldn't say the word, but here it is, folks. A statement from the Tina Peters appeals in the most recent appeal to the 10th Circuit Court. Factual background. Miss Peters' quote, dangerous speech. As we described below, Miss Peters was denied bond pending appeal because of her expression of concerns about the integrity of Colorado's computerized voting system. She expressed these concerns as a consequence of her performance of legal duties as the elected clerk and the recorder of Mesa County, Colorado, and the chief election official for the county, the custodian of county's voting system, and from the perspective of federal law, the, quote, officer of elections, 15 U.S.C. 2706, charged with ensuring compliance with federal requirements governing election of federal officers. Ms. Peters' concern over the integrity of computerized voting systems arose from the analysis of 3 forensic experts as she, as Mesa County clerk, engaged to analyze forensic images of the hard drives of Mesa County's election management systems server before and after the software update of those computers mandated by the Secretary of State shortly after the 2020 election. She initiated these analyses as part of her duty under federal and state law to preserve election records. Those analyses were presented by Ms. Peters to the Board of County Commissioners in form of the 3 extensive detailed reports. Peters explained the transmitting second reports to the receipts. So this is a full breakdown of how it went down and what went on in combination of her First Amendment suspension and the denial from Judge Barrett for her to speak her case as to why she did what she did. Judge Barrett silenced her and silenced her actions and silenced her free speech and her right to petition, right of habeas corpus in this petition of her court. So with that being said, let's see and let's hope that this Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit, for Tina Peters, moves through and we make some movement happen. But I highly recommend everyone check out Ashton America's article because it's a great summary of this entire appeals court, the federal appeal of habeas dismissal challenging. So definitely recommend that. And we got to stay in tune because this is actually, it's very fluid right now, folks. It's happening in real time because the next thing you know, they're going to become knocking on Griswold's door. I bet you that much. I'll tell you that much. Because as of last month, Governor Hobbs was facing a probe over alleged pay-to-play scheme with Sunshine Homes. Governor Katie Hobbs in Arizona. Remember she was the Secretary of State. Wasn't she the Secretary of State during the Arizona election in 2020? Wasn't she the one overseeing doing the same kind of things that Griswold was doing in Colorado? Her and Griswold have a very intimate and similar path in their rise to fame in their own states in their own regards. But that's kind of sidetracked to the point is that this institutionalized corruption is happening in multiple states across multiple counties, and Governor Hobbs, I think, had a lot to hide, a lot to operate, a lot to manipulate within Arizona, and I think Jenna Griswold is doing the same, if not more, corrupt behaviors happening in Colorado, and she's now trying to run for Attorney General here in Colorado. So with that being said, Governor Hobbs is facing a probe just a month ago. I mean, it's still under investigation right now. But this ties in intimately with, from big league politics, FBI quietly seizes election records from Arizona's largest county as expanding probe targets voting irregularities. Federal investigators have reportedly obtained massive amounts of election data from Maricopa County as widening criminal probe into ballot handling and election administration stretches back. Investigators recently issued a grand jury subpoena for electronic voting data from Maricopa County, which includes the city of Phoenix and represents the largest voting jurisdiction in the state. Sources told Just the News that federal agents are now reviewing gigabytes of election-related data as part of the probe. The subpoena reportedly comes roughly a month after federal agents executed a raid on a warehouse near Atlanta, Georgia, where the ballots from the 2020 election in Fulton County were seized as part of the same investigation. You don't say. Interesting how these things are all falling into place right here, right now, on the eve of hopefully passing the Save America Act. John Thune, I'm looking at you. Thune. Let's get it going. Federal authorities have not publicly detailed the full scope of the inquiry, but court filings related to the Georgia raid indicate investigators are examining whether the election officials violated federal laws requiring ballots to be distributed and counted according to state rules. Very interesting indeed. And we're going to see the same kind of behavior unfold when it comes to Colorado, because this is why I'm posting this. This is why I'm posting this kind of material on my X, and if you're not following me, I highly recommend doing it, because this is all tying back to the institutionalized Democrat apparatus with these Western communists and their agenda to usurp American institutions and use our own constitutional republic and our own democracy against us by weaponizing these operations and freezing and breaking our process here in America by instituting various means of election fraud and voter manipulation through electronic voting systems, through mail-in ballots, through using the ERIC election registration interference thing. The details of ERIC is still a little vague to me. I know ERIC is a institutionalized system that verifies and checks voter rolls and voter rolls in the state, but these Democrats use ERIC in multiple different states in multiple different ways. Jenna Griswold is one of those, and along with Arizona, I believe, as well. But Jenna Griswold is her crimes are coming home to roost, folks. That's all I gotta say. Jenna Griswold's crimes are coming home to roost here in Colorado. They are on the trail of election fraud, election interference, election rigging. Started in Fulton County, Georgia, moved over to Maricopa County, Arizona, looking at you up in Michigan, looking up over in Wisconsin, looking in Pennsylvania as well, Minneapolis. But Colorado's been thick and rife with election irregularities and interference for a long time, and Jenna Griswold is leading the charge here in Colorado. And we are calling her out on her corruption, so it's only a matter of time before the feds show up and start knocking on her door at her Secretary of State office here in Colorado. Very interesting times indeed, folks. Very interesting times indeed. Yeah, still going strong, I believe. Still going strong. I'm just checking the other live stream here, making sure we're still on the same page. Looking good. Is that who I think it is? It is. Is she speaking? Let's see.
Have given me 21 grandkids and 4 great-grandkids.
I thought it was Erin speaking. Erin is up there right now, but I don't know if she's speaking. Sorry, I'm bouncing back and forth. But let's see. What else we got here? I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about Hobbs. Yeah, we've got Justice Department sues 5 more states for failure to procedure. I mean, this is all tying together. It's the same narrative. It's the same agenda. I did bring up a couple things regarding oil prices. You know, oil prices, it spiked and then went up and then it went back down. Now it's riding back up somewhere just under $90 a barrel right now. But yeah, so oil prices are a thing, but you know, I think we've got more bigger fish to fry in Colorado, because we're not going to be able to change the price of oil. We're not going to be able to change the behavior of oil markets, global markets, the Strait of Hormuz, the whole Iran conflict happening out there. Let me see if Erin's actually going to be up there and speak. Let's see.
I'll not say that they are perfect, because
what? How did that happen? Hold on. Live?
My name is Christy Neely, and I'm here in support of House Bill 261128. This
I wonder
bill
if they already
recognizes a simple reality.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep tabs and see if Aaron, because I know that Aaron is up on the panel. But let's keep going here. What else did I want to speak on? Dog. What is my dog barking about? Oh, we've already checked off on all the things. Hold on a sec. Hold on. Dog. He is barking. Let me do this really quick. Hold on.
And are finding something completely different. That's why we're here.
Aaron Lee's up here, so maybe she'll be coming up
Research is
next.
beginning to document this. A study published in Archives of Sexual Behavior.
But I'll be right back. Hold on.
Surveying detransitioners found that over 60% reported their gender distress was connected to other underlying issues like trauma, mental health struggles, or social pressures. If doctors know that something is on the line, they might pursue checking out these other options first to make sure there isn't something underlying that needs to be taken care of. Another study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that roughly 30% of young people who began gender-related treatment stopped within a few years. And the U.S. Transgender Survey of nearly 28,000 individuals found that about 13% reported detransitioning at some point. These aren't small numbers. Behind them are people living with lifelong consequences, infertility, loss of sexual function, chronic medical complications and pain, emotional trauma of realizing healthy body parts were permanently altered or removed. Many detransitioners say they were never fully informed about the consequences when they were young. That's what we're testifying about. Simply making sure that when people pursue this, doctors are listening.
Thank you so much for your
Hopefully we got Aaron.
testimony. We're going to go online now to Aaron Lee.
Let's go. All right. Let's take a listen.
Thank you, Ms. Chair and Committee. My name is Aaron Lee, representing myself. I'm the Executive Director of Protect Kids Colorado, but more importantly, I'm the mother of a little girl who overcame wrong sex grooming and confusion without chemically castrating or surgically mutilating her healthy body. She is one of the lucky ones. I've experienced firsthand the effects of Colorado laws that push children down the conveyor belt of what you call gender-affirming care, but what now I understand to be irreversible, sex-rejecting chemical castration and surgical mutilation. Because of these laws, my 12-year-old daughter was bombarded with gender ideology in her classroom and referred to a mental health professional without my knowledge or consent. That counselor, bound by state law, was only allowed to affirm her confusion. By the time I discovered what was happening, I was threatened with a well child check for being unaffirming, and doctors repeated the most haunting ultimatum imaginable. Would you rather have a living son or a dead daughter? Transition or death? Imagine the parents that have been put into this position. Now imagine the kids, the autistic, the artistic, the rebellious, the uncomfortable with puberty, the ones recovering from sexual trauma, effeminate boys, masculine girls, many who would just simply grow up to be gay if left alone. Instead, they are rushed towards irreversible medicalization, and many now regret it. I've met dozens of detransitioners. Many testified for this bill last year, but were victim blamed and shamed by elected officials, so I urge them not to endure that again this year. The medical system has failed these kids again and again. Courts are beginning to recognize that doctors and therapists misled them. There's a medical code for being struck by a turtle, but there are no medical codes for detransitioners. If you deny these young people the ability to seek justice for the harm done to them, you're just harming them again. Children cannot consent to lifelong medical harm. They deserve a chance to hold adults accountable. Yeah. Justice delayed should not become justice denied. I urge a yes vote on 1128.
Yes. Thank you very much. Last up, Lori Gobel.
Excellent job, Aaron. Excellent job. I mean, folks, what do you guys think? I mean, like, is there much conversation? Is there much questions to be asked regarding the conversation to be had about gender transition procedures here in Colorado? The fact that Colorado is producing and promoting a transnational pipeline of gender mutilation and gender affirming care. It's the Underground Railroad of trans mutilation. It's absolutely disgusting. The transnational railroad, right? Kind of a double entendre there, but you know what I'm saying. Absolutely sickening, shameful behavior. These medical doctors, these Dr. Kevorkian style doctors, and their medical mutilation that takes place. Unacceptable, and we got to stand up against it. And like I said, I wish I was able to testify and sign up with this bill. This bill kind of I didn't get around to didn't get around to signing up for 1128, but definitely in support of 1128. But I am signed up to testify in support of the next bill that's going to be heard, which is 261083. Which is Scott Bottoms' bill, Protect Female Sports Act. And it's going to be pretty simple. I mean, higher bone density in men, higher muscle mass, higher performance, testosterone it builds performance within men, and completely unattainable for even the most fit and most athletic women to be on the same scale of a transitioned man in a woman's sport. So that's absolutely ridiculous, and that's what I'm going to be that's what I'm signed up to testify next. But let's see if they actually open some testimony.
I have a couple of
Aaron.
questions. My first question is for Ms. Liu. Ms. Liu, you had brought forward some information about big pharmaceutical companies and their role in all of this, and I'm just wondering if you have any data available ready on hand related to how much money they make from this particular set of treatments and engagements.
So I have Miss Liu, just a moment. So I just have to call. I'm over here. I just have to call on you, and that way anybody who might be listening in knows who's speaking. So I'll call on you, and then you can take it away, okay? Miss Liu.
And you want me to say my name?
No.
Oh,
you can just answer the question.
So actually, a book by Abigail Shira, who's a lawyer and a researcher. She actually presented many, many numbers, but since I wasn't expecting that question, I don't have it memorized, but it is in the well, maybe not trillions, but hundreds of millions, based on the number of hospitals, gender-changing hospitals that has popped up in our country, the clinics, and it is many, many millions of dollars. It is a highly profitable business at the expense of our children. So yes, it is a lot, but I don't have the exact numbers, sorry.
Rep. Luck?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for that ballpark figure. Sorry to catch you off guard. The other question that I have for you is as relates to social contagion. Can you speak a little bit more into what you mean by social contagion?
You learn more listening to legislation when they have conversations like this. You learn more of bills and of legislation and of procedures when you get involved with
social
testimony
contagion,
like this.
So social, like, interactions between people, and especially for women. Women are sensitive, sympathetic creatures.
Very social
and so
creatures.
They feel one another's pain.
But women
and that was especially prevalent during the anorexia and bulimia. When a group of girls get together, if one girl is one of those, they all eventually become one of those. And that's what we're seeing today with the gender issue. Except much more so today, we have activists amongst those girls who are pushing them into these circles of influence that are so damaging for these girls. So social contagion is not based on physical ailments. It is based on psychological and mental influences.
I hope they call on
and the activists behind the LGBTQ movement is exactly guilty of that.
Ooh, she called him out straight up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm wondering if Ms. Lee might have any of the information related to the big pharma question.
Let's go. Crush it.
Ms. Lee?
Aaron's got it.
Thank you so much, Representative Luck. Yes, so there's a great database. It's called stoptheharmdatabase.com. And Do No Harm found that in a 4-year period, just from 2019 to 2023, over 14,000 kids were chemically castrated and surgically mutilated to the tune of over $120 million. And that just includes public insurance data. So it doesn't include self-pays, Kaiser Permanente, what we now know to be fraudulent coding that happens in this sex-rejecting medicine. So it's well over $120 million just based on public insurance data for a 4-year period, and that's only on minor children.
Incredible. Disgusting.
Any further questions? Rep. Bradley, our last one.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Lee, I don't think I've ever asked you this question. When your daughter was being secretly transitioned behind your back and you finally were able to talk to her and figure out what was going on, did she understand the long-term physical, emotional, and reproductive consequences that could have happened?
Ms. Lee.
Thank you for that question, Rep. Bradley. She did not. My daughter was 12 years old, and when she was taught about puberty blockers, how to access them, and then referred to doctors behind my back, and then I was asked to leave the room for her mental health assessment where she was prescribed SSRIs without my consent. And she had no idea the ramifications of these. What happened to her in her classroom was what I call glitter bombing, where it was, she was just celebrated and it was exciting, and we didn't talk about any of the negative effects that could happen to her. So she did not understand the sterility, the inability to have children, to breastfeed, the lowering of the voice, removal of body parts. She didn't understand that that came along with the transgender label. And so we're lucky that we intervened and evaded Child Protective Services, removing her from our loving care for our reluctance to medically transition her at 12 years old. But she had no idea any of the negative side effects. I have met parents who have been put in this position. They are not given informed consent. They're just bullied with that suicide myth. Either you transition your child or they'll commit suicide. And I'll just add that my daughter has now publicly spoken about how if we had affirmed her confusion and medicalized her, she believes she would have carried out suicide.
Thank you all so much for your time and your testimony. We're going to move into an opposed panel and call Vanessa Martinez.
Incredible,
Olivia
folks.
Compton.
These are the kind of
Alex Floyd,
bills that happen every single
Reverend
day.
Larry Morris III.
Let me turn this down.
Monica Hughes.
Let me mute that. Yeah, this is the kind of legislation that happens every single day under the Golden Dome in Colorado. It's absolutely incredible, the stuff we're fighting, the stuff we're trying to stand up against. Obviously, I have several different bills. I have several different testimonies that I've spoken out about, whether it was election integrity, mail-in ballots, energy. I've testified against with the Energy Commission, the PUC. I've got several different testimonies that I'm going to be posting still. I've got like a backlog of testimonies that I've participated in, but I have not had the opportunity to actually post yet. But have no fear, those testimonies will come out and they will be posted in due time. But folks, I appreciate you hanging out. I know this is kind of a willy-nilly kind of harebrained Mile High Monday live stream, but you get a little good slice of real on the ground happening in real time information. We obviously got some live coverage from the testimonies happening right now in Mile High City, in the Golden Dome, in Denver, Colorado. But be aware, folks, because these bills keep getting pushed. This legislation keeps getting shoved down our throats. So be aware. This week, I highly you need to check out Free State Colorado, because he has got some fantastic posts regarding upcoming bills. Right here, Brandon's got a great reels, great stuff for you coming in here, because he posted some great stuff. He's clipping stuff from the testimonies in real time too, but he's talking about bills that we need to be supporting and bills we need to be opposing in Colorado. Killing 41-171. It should be illegal to transition anyone under 18, and they should discourage the meds and surgery for anyone under 25. I firmly agree with that, 100%. You get that treasure chest. Let's rock and roll, because that is the kind of world that I want to live in. I want to make sure that people have informed consent to every decision and every life-altering decision that they make. Because if they don't, and we allow the state and the government to just make these decisions for us, we live in idiocracy. We live in an Orwellian hellscape. We live in the future of nefarious means and difficult realities that I don't want to see us be a part of. So make sure you get informed. Make sure you get aware and what's really happening. We're halfway through the legislative session, folks. We still got a lot more bills to push, a lot more things to oppose, and a lot more things to support. So with that, folks, we are signing off here on Break the Chains Media. Let me see if I can grab who else. we're gonna jump over to Quiet Part Pod. We're gonna be rating.
We should do maybe me and Sean should do live.
Oh my gosh, that is a double echo. I am gonna be rating over to Quiet Part Pod from Rumble here, and we're making it happen. We're making it happen in real time. But folks, I appreciate you guys. I didn't mean to do that. I don't know what I did. Hold on, let's do this. We'll try it this way. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I appreciate you all showing up here for Break the Chains Media Mile High Monday. Show up tomorrow. Be a part of it tomorrow. I've got testimony on Wednesday as well, but we're going to be breaking it all down here in real time on Break the Chains Media. Smash that thumbs up button. Be a part of the Chain Breakers. Listen to my voice crack every time I say smash, 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 smash. But no, appreciate y'all being here. And as always, fight for freedom and never give up.